The following program was produced by an independent community producer. The opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of the ECAT staff or board of directors.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. It's the Ron Van Dam Show.
Hold on tight, things can get a bit weird, if you like that sort of thing.
Hey, welcome to the program. It's the Ron Van Dam Show. It's named after me, because, why not? Thanks for being here. As a matter of introduction, which I do at the top of every show, just in case you're watching this for the first time, I've been in broadcast radio for 30 years, then went into the podcasting and syndicated radio. Once a week, I come into this studio and I do the show visually, although on the radio I interview people sometimes. Here I just talk incessantly. It's called a monologue, but it's also talking incessantly. And that's it. Other than that, have a nice day. Good talking to you. Enjoy your life. I talk about things that apparently bother a lot of people, but they don't talk about it because it's so trivial and ridiculous. But I found that as I got older, those smaller things were really more fun to complain about. So, and getting older gives you a license to do that, by the way. If you're younger and you complain about things, the response is, hey, just worry about the big stuff, because you're young, you got a whole life, stop it, stop complaining, it's not pretty. When you're older and you complain, okay, I get it. Sure, why not? Okay, anyway. Here's something, before I get into this, let me just say one thing without saying anything. With all these indictments politically, all that kind of stuff, for very good reason, by the way, I just want to mention that if I got a subpoena or a summons to appear in court, if I didn't show up, there'd be someone knocking at my door and dragging me into a location with jail written on it. I would be fined accordingly. But somehow if you have money, then you can negotiate with the courts and delay things and change court dates. But if you don't have that kind of money, your ass is in jail and you're done. And that's what I just wanted to say at the beginning of the program. Let's get that straight right away. Okay. Ow. Hey, what the hell? As the nicer weather approaches, restaurants in a lot of suburban areas and a lot of city areas, they open up their restaurants outside. Now, this used to be like a pretty setting, with bushes and trees around and, nice brick walls and stone walls, very little flowing brooks, a nice outside eating experience. They call it al fresco. I don't know who this guy al fresco is, but I think it means eating or preparing the food outside. Okay, that's nice. That's like a picnic, okay? It's called a picnic. So yeah, if restaurants want to open up their backyards or whatever to outside eating, that's very pleasant with a nice pleasant breeze outside or some nice warm weather. But somehow, with the COVID thing, we got into having people eat outside in the street. It doesn't make sense to me. Here these restaurants spend all this money making the atmosphere really nice inside with the nice lighting and the pretty tables and the interior decorating and the music in the background. Would you like to dine in our restaurant? Or would you like to go out in the street with the traffic going by continually? If you have to eat outside that badly, then perhaps you shouldn't be going out to a restaurant because you're going to be seated in the parking lot. And as you're eating your food, your ribeye steak, there's going to be cars driving by you about 2 or 3 feet away from you. one miscalculation by that car, and you're not eating your steak anymore, if you know what I mean. Now, I actually go to restaurants where they do have outside setups. I don't necessarily go outside to do that. I did during the COVID because that was the only choice we had in order to attend these restaurants. COVID's gone, and we don't have to eat outside anymore unless it's a nice side patio kind of setup with little trees and things like that. That's wonderful. But eating in the parking lot, or closing down a lane of the street so that you can eat in the street itself, makes no sense to me whatsoever. I'm not downing those setups. I go to restaurants that actually have that setup. I don't eat outside. It's fine, wonderful. If people choose to eat in the street or in a parking lot, so be it. That's fine. I mean, you want to save a little money, prepare a couple of sandwiches at home, put them in a basket, go down to your main street and sit on the curb and eat the sandwiches. I mean, what's the difference? Al Fresco. What did he do, this guy Al? I mean, he's just strange concept he came up with. All right. I also wanted to talk about something that bothers me. And you know, when something bothers you, you kind of say to yourself for a couple of minutes, I wonder if this bothers everybody as much as it bothers me. Why am I so bothered by this, yet no one else seems to be bothered by it? Or is it just that nobody talks about it because you really shouldn't? Here it is. I don't understand why women, that should be the end of the sentence. I don't understand why women with long, beautiful hair, or just hair down to their shoulders, not even that flowingly long, why they choose to take their hair and pile it on the top of their head in the shape of a bun. Why do you have to make a hair pastry on the top of your head? Do you think that this looks good? Now, some men might say, well, I like that. Most men, no. Because I've been to the movies, I've watched TV shows, and I've seen magazines. They have these women that are fairly attractive with the hair piled up like a hot dog with sauerkraut on it, you know, on the top of their head, walking around with this big knob up there. And then all of a sudden they get a little bit sexy and they whip off the glasses. Forget about even the glasses. They go to the back of their head and they release the bun mechanism that holds the bun up there. And their hair comes flowing down all over their shoulders. And they move their face. And the wind picks up on their hair and they brush their face back and forth. And that's a sexy scene. So, what's with the bun on the top of the head? What is that? What is that? Who came up with that? Were women saying, you know, I'm just too attractive. I think I'll take my lovely hair and just pile it on the top of my head like a corned beef sandwich at a deli. So my question is, men, does this bother you when women walk around with their hair on top of their head in a bun knob kind of pattern? Do you like that? I don't do this, but I feel like walking up to people in a shopping mall and tapping them on the shoulder and saying, do you like women with their hair in a bun? Well, I would be smacked and arrested. I would probably get a summons to appear in court. And then if I didn't show up, they would arrest me for sure. I like to tie two subjects together sometimes. I did ask some of my male friends and some of my female friends or fens, whatever, this question. And all of the male friends said, nah, the hair down, man, the hair down. I wouldn't dare tell the lady that her hair looks like not as good with piled on top of her head. But down, Ron, down. Now, to the women, it's like none of my business. I'll put my hair where I want to put my hair. Okay, I know you will. That's not the point. They think they look good with their hair up off their face. Okay, whatever. Whatever. They also respond by saying to me, well, you know, it's hot outside, and when I put the hair on top of my head, it's much more cooling on my neck and all that kind of stuff. And I say, okay, why don't you just like shave your head then? And then you won't have that problem at all, Sinead. That's a generational kind of reference. The newer generation doesn't know who Sinead O'Connor is. Okay. Anyway, yeah, I don't understand that whole concept of piling the hair on the head. I have long hair too. I have a ponytail, see? So here's my suggestion, ladies. If the hair is like in your way, or it's like way too, I can't breathe, it's too hot, my own hair is smothering me, my luscious, gorgeous hair. Well, then put it in a ponytail. Then you still have the long hair, it's off your face, everybody's happy, including me. But to take it and pile it on the top of your head like an ice cream cone, it's not pretty. It looks self-serving. Who are you to think that it's all about you? I owned a video production company for 20 years in my life, and most of what I did was wedding videos, because people who are getting married will spend money like crazy and not even think twice about it, and those are my kind of people when you're in business. Just did wedding videos, very lucrative, very nice. So here's what happened, my friends. So it's funny to me because the bride would always look like really, really nice. She would have her hair down, dressed in a long, flowing, everything at a wedding is flowing. The hair is flowing, the gown is flowing, the train that follows her down the aisle, yeah, it's an Amtrak engine. The train that follows her down the aisle, that's long and flowing too. It's a long and flowing kind of thing. But the bridesmaids cannot look good at all. And the bride kind of like, she kind of lies to them. She says, we're going to go to a dress shop and you're going to all wear the same dresses, which are really uniforms. And she makes sure that the dresses look good to show that she has taste, but at the same time, the dresses are pastel colors that no one's ever seen before. They're odd. You never wear these things again. So the bride looks incredible. Bridesmaids, what are you? What are you, all sisters? You all looked exactly the same. And they all, say it with me, have their hair up in a bun. I get it. I know what's going on. I was married. I wore a nice suit. I didn't do the tuxedo thing. I thought it was a little much. Wearing a tuxedo at a wedding is like being a maitre d' in a restaurant. I was wearing a nice suit. My groomsmen, my ushers, whatever you call these guys, they were dressed just like I was. As a matter of fact, you could not tell the difference between the groom and the ushers, the groomsmen, whatever these people are. You could not tell the difference. We were all dressed exactly the same. The groom isn't out to look better than anybody else. He looks the same as anybody else. The bride, she's got to look like she just stepped out of some type of Disney fantasy movie. And the bridesmaids, put these pastel uniforms on and put your hair on your head, will you? It's true. Don't argue with me. Actually, there's no way for you to argue it, really, because this is a one-way deal. But, man, I mean, that's it. That's wow, weddings, man, I'm telling you. Crazy. Biggest fascination for me videotaping weddings was during the reception. The last hour of the reception, the older people leave after the dinner, after the first dance. When the DJ says, "All right, everybody up on the dance floor," the older people at that point, they go, "I gotta go home. I can't stand this music, and I'm out of here." And they leave very, very politely, but they leave. So all that's left over is in the last half hour are the younger people who are inevitably drunk. Why? Because the alcohol is flowing. It's another example of our society where in order to celebrate, we have to get drunk. July 4th, get drunk. St. Patrick's Day, get drunk. New Year's Eve, get drunk. Even Christmas at Christmas parties with the eggnog stuff and the hotsy-totsies and the warm cider. Everything's alcohol. That's how we celebrate everything, with alcohol and the overindulgence thereof. Labor Day, of course, honoring women who are pregnant. Even then, and they can't even drink. And we for Labor Day, we even get drunk. I might have it wrong as to why you celebrate Labor Day, but I'm not sure. Memorial Day. Think about those that have left us. Where's my beer? This is who we are, kids. It's who we are. We're aimless people who aren't treated equally, who put our hair up on the top of our head and get drunk. That's our society. Perhaps I'm being a bit simplistic, but I think I've pretty nailed it. Pretty much nailed it. Pretty nailed it is what I said. That made no sense. Pretty much nailed it, yes. Pretty nailed it? Not really. Which brings me to my last subject matter of the program, and then you can go do something. Am I using my hands enough? Because this is a visual thing that I'm doing. It's radio, but I'm doing it in front of a camera. The only way that it makes it different is if I would move my hands more frequently. There you go. Okay. I use them. This was all worth it now. You can't even see my hands on the table. Looks like I have no hands. Looks like my arms just end at a certain point. Doesn't it? No, I got all of them. I got all my fingers still. I was not a shop teacher in high school. Here's something about our society that I totally don't understand. I've talked about this. I usually talk about this around Halloween. And it is the fact that in our society, we love violence. We cry and we scream and we run from violence in real life. But the real violence on a movie screen, we run to the theater. We're virtually sitting in comfortable movie chairs with our feet up, with a box of popcorn laying in our crotch, watching people die and getting their heads cut off and bleeding to death and being crushed in a wood chipper and being slashed and we sit in the movie theater and go, oh, this is horrible. Oh no, that was horrible. What's wrong with us? Well, I don't do that. Why? What is this fascination that we have in society of watching people get hurt? We can watch these horror movies where young girls, cheerleaders usually college sorority girls, I guess it means that they're stupid, getting slashed and decapitated. And we run to the movies to be scared by this. Now here's the odd part. If you're watching a horror movie and there's a little puppy dog involved and the puppy dog dies somehow, because it's thrown into a vat of boiling water, we walk out. I cannot handle that. I cannot handle that. If a baby, an infant, is injured or bleeding incessantly because of a monster or a slasher, we go, oh, no, that is no. But if it's just a regular human being, yeah, it's fun, yay. Yay, watch out, lady, you're going to get slashed too. Oh, yay. What the hell's wrong with us? What is wrong with us? Video games have been a problem. They get more violent every single year as technology grows and things become more like, well, AI realistic. You can put these goggles on. You can actually be in the room where people are being slashed. And we enjoy this. We pay big bucks for it. What's wrong with us? There is if you go to the movies at any given time, more than half the movies in any one of those movie theaters, it has like more than 10 or 12 theaters in it. And they showcase cinema things and the other ones. You will find that more than half the movies are these DC Comics, Marvel Comics kind of characters. Superhuman people, Spider-Man, the Toxic Avenger, the Aquaman, Superman, Hulk Hogan, Batman, Wonder Woman, Crotchety Man, Syphilis Lady, all these people, all these horrible, horrible people. They are superhuman. They have X-ray vision. They can see things. They can look at your X-rays and see if a bone is broken. They can do this. And they save the world because everything's fine in the beginning. They're just like there's a petty thief, walking down the street, steals a one pocketbook, and this comic Avenger or whatever, the superhuman person gets the lady's pocketbook back, and you figure, okay, this is going to be a fun movie, nothing too heavy here. And then like 2 seconds later, this evil force comes out of anywhere to destroy the entire planet, this evil force from another planet. And the bridges are collapsing and cars are plunging into the ocean and into the river below, and buildings are falling down, and giant pieces of concrete are smashing people's heads onto the pavement, and people are running and screaming, and we're sitting there, we're going, this is entertaining. Bob, isn't this entertaining, Bob? I use the word Bob because it's the same backwards and forwards. Why do we watch that? Why would we want to subject ourselves to seeing things being destroyed that we deal with every day when we're walking down the street? That can be destroyed. It can fall out from under you. Driving in a tunnel, the tunnel can collapse on you. Why are we watching this happen? Why are we making suggestions of total annihilation and pain and suffering? Why is that entertainment? What's going on? I really thought that at a point we got more civilized. You know that chart of evolution. It starts with a little thing, and then there's the whatever, apes or dinosaurs, whatever, and then we evolve into other things, and then we start walking upright, and we become erect in many regards, and then we're wearing business suits. Well, we're going backwards again, because being civilized is kind of not really the case. We still have wars where we try to destroy each other. We have political parties that try to destroy each other. The hell with the economy, the hell with the lives of the families and the morals and the lifestyles. I want to destroy the other party. Let the chips fall where they may. There's going to be destruction here. That's their goal. I don't understand it. I don't get it. We've got this destruction kind of attitude. And I guess that's why we go to the movies and watch things get destroyed. Well, it's fun as long as it's not real. That made no sense. That makes no sense. It's fun if it's not real. You should be having PTSD just from going to the movies sometimes, I'm telling you. And it's these comic book Avenger superhuman people that are, they save the world at the very end. By the way, when you go to any of those 50,000 movies, do you ever wonder, I wonder what's going to happen in the movie? I wonder what's going to happen. Let me guess. All of a sudden, the evil is going to come in, and destroy everything, destroy cities and bridges, and crush people and hurt them and devastate them and kill them. And then the superhuman characters are going to come in and they're going to save the world. Really? I have never heard of that plot before. That's new. What the hell's going on? Why isn't there a superhuman character that can save, instead of saving the world and saving the city, why don't they just save some marriages? How about that? How about super marriage consultant? Yeah, they can fly because they all have to fly or something. Otherwise, it's not believable. Why don't they do that? And then they can fly into the homes of people with broken marriages where the children are suffering. The children's lives will suffer forever. Where is the superhuman marriage counselor? And they show up and they repair the marriage and everybody lives happily ever after. Same plot, just a little more meaningful and a little more consequential. I don't understand it. I just don't understand it. But we are who we are. We are what we eat. We eat outside in the street. We watch things being destroyed with popcorn. And we put our hair in a bun. You add it all together, it spells mother. It's just odd to me. It's crazy. Remember the Lions and the Christians? Who were you voting for? I was going for the Lions. It's not a vote, really. It's more rooting for them. I mean, Christians are fine people, but if you're going to pit them against the Lions, I mean, come on, man. You don't want animals hurt. I don't know. I'm scared of the AI thing, artificial intelligence. Human beings don't have any intelligence. How can they create things that have intelligence? It'll overtake them. I am losing my patience with artificial intelligence, especially those robocalls. I mean, artificial intelligence is more intelligent than human intelligence, and that's a fact because it's infallible. And someday, this will not be working anymore. It will not work out well for us. We don't know how to legislate. We don't know how to control it. And when things get out of control, I mean, you don't want to be controlled by something, but at the same time, you don't want to be destroyed by the very thing that has been created in order to help you. It all started with that freaking robot, that Ramba Room thing, that vacuum, little round robot vacuum cleaner thing. That's what started it. All they wanted to do was clean your room when you weren't home. Now look what happened. Got out of hand. Now they're making phone calls. I cannot remember the last time I called a company, a credit card company, a bank, a store, a service, anything. Cell phone company, you name it, without having to deal with a robot interacting with me. I'm arguing with a robot over the phone. Get me the agent. Get me the representative. I want to talk to a human. I'm sorry, that's not one of your choices. Please choose from the following selection. And listen carefully, because we've changed our options. And don't start a recording anymore saying, well, we have a higher than expected call volume. What is this, always then? This is part of your recording. You don't always have a higher. If you have a higher than expected call volume, hire some more people and answer the phone. How about that idea? I've said this before on the show. You give me a company where someone answers the phone and says, hello, how can I help you? I'm with you. That's customer service. All right, ladies and gentlemen, out of time for today. Have yourselves a wonderful, wonderful day. I'll be back next week. Until then, I wish you peace.